Hi guys, it's Tony for eModels.co.uk. Welcome to part 2 of the Yamaha... Oh no, I knew I'd stumble here. I've been practicing that for about 5 minutes off camera. Tamiya's 1/12 scale Yamaha YZR M1'09, which really is a mouthful, really is. So, quick recap. Episode 1, we did the unbox, looked at the instructions, and I waffled my way through a few things, and then went blasting straight into building an engine, which is absolutely gloriously beautiful. I'm wearing gloves because I'm actually ready for paint in real life, so yeah, that's absolutely glorious. However, this episode will be concentrating on... Oh, that's a beautiful noise. All the sub-assemblies that we were building. I think I explained in episode 1, we build big sub-assemblies so we could paint everything in one go rather than detail painting individual parts and things like that. So, without further ado, go straight into part 2. I'll stop yapping at you and I'll show you how to build a subframe. Cue credits. Okay, so I was saying earlier about the importance of test fitting. Normally with a Tamiya kit you get a couple of little pegs and holes. That's pretty standard across most kits as well. But you don't actually get anything for this frame. Sort the slides here. There we go. So what you tend to find is, or what I'm finding as I'm test fitting this, hang on, just let me get away from the eModels thing. It's messing about my focus. There we go, that's better. It's actually sliding round as I'm trying to line everything up. Now if I'd have just gone straight in and glued that, that would have actually been, you know, quite tricky and twisty. So what I'm finding is, drop that part in there, like it's calling out for, that actually stabilises the whole thing quite well. And now it's not as prone to moving around as it was a second ago. So if you do build this kit, just be aware of that. Stick this collar in first before you try and line everything up for gluing. There we go. Give that a squeeze there, right. So, whilst that's all in play, just nip in with the glue. Like so. We'll just keep hold of that a few seconds whilst the glue bites. Start dropping it. Why is that reminding me of a Cylon?
Are you a command?
I'll drop in a couple of spots there on the inside of that intake. I think that's an intake. It looks like an intake. And then we can actually feel the glue gripping so we can move around now. Drop some more in. Let's drop some there. Again, I'm not too sure if you saw that or not. The capillary reaction took it right way down the seam line. So we just apply a little bit of pressure. Just helps the two halves knit together. Like so. There we go. That's taken. So we're just going to leave that a few seconds to dry off before we nip this piece into the rear. Because trying to glue that in at the same time as trying to hold all that together would have been quite a trick, and that would have driven me crackers. So we're actually that way round once it's done. Let's get the sponsors back in the shot. Okay, so that was shocking lighting again. There we go. And in a moment we get to play with some ridiculously turny screws. So whilst that's drying off, I'll show you this piece. It's actually calling out here now. The bike's actually meant for the Dutch GP race. But you've got an option there. This piece apparently was used in the Malaysian GP. Like I say, I'm not too sure on the anatomy of the bikes, but you have to make a decision whether or not to use that. So, what part does that go on? It goes on the B25. We'll have a quick look at that while we're here. Move the glue. So we need B25. B25 and B19. Is it 19? 19. Now I'm wondering, the Malaysian GP is actually this weekend in real life. So I'm actually wondering whether this is some kind of rain card, because that one can be quite a wet race. So there we go, that's the difference. Let's pop the eModels out the shot again so I can focus. That's without, that's with. So I need to make a decision now whether or not to do that. My instinct is saying no, leave it. But the model maker in me is saying, yeah, do it, why not? It's a bit of a tricky fit. So, just because it is a tricky fit, I'm going to do it. Yep, why not? So, I'm just going to get a dot of Tamiya masking tape to do this. And you hear me saying Tamiya a lot in this video, in this series as well. It's mostly Tamiya products I'm going to be using. Don't forget the power of the brands available. Come on, cooperate. Alright, that's my squeezy grip. There's my squeezy grip. So I'm just going to hold that tab in place there. Looks solid. Just get rid of that tape. That works in my head. I just realised the second I put glue in, that glue is going to adhere to the tape more than the pieces, and it'll actually zip off around the seam line. So we're just going to hold away. Yeah, that's better. Right. Trust me, I'm a professional. What do you get? That worked a second ago. Why are you not working now? There we go. Hey. They're things I do for my art. Try a crocodile clip. See, 25 years experience and I'm still getting it wrong. Where's my crocodile clip? I had a lot of those the other day. Where have you gone? You'll do till I find one. There we go. That's a better grip, he says. There we go. Right, so we can use the tape now to keep our fingers out of the way. Like so. And on that back edge, just run some glue down. And wait for a few seconds for that to catch, and then remove the clip. Done. And we'll just reinforce that tab at the back. There we go. Done. Leave that tape for a few minutes. Don't pull that off yet, otherwise you'll pull the piece off because it's not set. Give that about 10 minutes or so, just to do its thing. Hopefully you saw all that, because I just noticed then as I looked up, I'm looking in the little square at the back. Hopefully you saw that. A old-fashioned polystyrene block is your best friend. It really is. It holds all kinds of cocking tail sticks and crocodile clips and things like that, so you can do your thing. So that's done. Now we need a ridiculously tiny screw to be prepared. Yeesh, that'll be fun. And now in that ridiculously tiny little bag, so I'm saying ridiculously a lot. Must be the word of the day. These teeny, come on, teeny screws. Teeny, absolutely teeny. So we'll close that back up. Not just for masking. There we go. Put that nice and safe. Then very gently take away masking tape. That's the word. Oh my word. Okie doke. So very carefully, we're going to this work. Attach. Ooh. That part in there, like so. I'm not too sure how that's going to work. Whether that's actually supposed to move or not. Because that's quite a solid joint straight away. And a quick tip: just lick the end of your finger. Hold your screw in place just long enough that you can get everything lined up. And just have a little wiggle with the pieces to get everything lined up. That screwdriver is useless. That's the screwdriver that came in the kit. That's quite nasty, to be honest. But it's a free screwdriver, so yeah, why not? There we go. So that's in there. That's actually quite a solid fit anyway, so I'm not too sure what the purpose of that light is. Excuse me. All will be revealed eventually, I'm sure. And then right as the last thing, get it the right way around, we'll drop this piece here into there, just to finish that subframe off. And run around in the places that won't be seen. Drop some glue in, let the capillary reaction do its thing. Oh, where's this crow come from? Gently squeeze. Just be aware that it is a little bit, as you can see, it's, hopefully see, it's quite an unstable thing, so just stay as square as you can. There we go. So that's done. We'll leave that aside for a few minutes. Once it's doing its thing, and we'll go to step 3, which is the handlebars. Now, those of us of a certain age, and I'm 40, I'm wondering if you remember Street Hawk. because for some strange reason that dashboard piece there reminds me of Street Hawk, and I don't know why. But I've got the theme tune running through my head now. Unfortunately, YouTube rules mean that I can't play that because it's copyrighted and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I want to go and watch Street Hawk videos again now. Episode team. I'll just pop that in there, like so. That's done. Now, worryingly, on the headstock, on this tiny little bottle here, on the instructions, it actually shows a sticky out straight piece. There we go, just there. Which isn't actually on this piece. It's not something I've knocked off, otherwise you'd see a mark. Similar to where these nubs are at the back edge here, you'd see that kind of mark on the edge of this bottle, and there's absolutely nothing there. I don't think they've actually moulded it into this piece. I'm hoping we don't need that for any of the hose work that we need to do later on. So, if that is the case, so far in the instructions it doesn't look like it is, but if that is the case I'll fix that and I'll talk you through how we do that. But hopefully we don't need to. So, make sure we're this way around. We've got these tiny little rings now. I don't know if you can make that out, there's little divots of detail on that top surface there. And the other side is completely smooth. We need these divots of detail facing us, because that's the top of the suspension arms. So we just drop those over the top there like so. And make sure they don't fall off. Again, tiny little dot of glue. Capillary reaction goes zip all the way around. You've got to make the noises too. Zip, like that. And being careful that we don't stick our thumb onto that part there. We just glued. Spin around. Move the piece to suit you. Don't dislocate your wrists trying to get into impossible angles. Trust me, been there, done that. It's rubbish. Move everything to suit you. And some kind of filler cap there. Like so. And we'll leave that to, whoops, do its thing and dry off for a few minutes before we attach these parts. Underneath for the handlebars, which I've left on here. Now, I've done that because they're ridiculously, they look rather flimsy, especially on these levers. So I'm actually going to leave those as late as possible before I put those on the kit. That'll probably be one of the last pieces I do, to be honest. Now, I'll spray those, when I paint everything else, I'll spray those at the same time, and then I'll individually paint those separately. Again, towards the end of the video I'll go through that with you. But for now I'm going to leave those off, because I'm terrified, me being me, I'm going to actually break one of these levers. So that's going to go somewhere safe for the time being. I'll say things like that leave to last, absolutely last moment. Because if we do manage to, me being me, drop this, at least we're not going to damage it. Well, that's the general idea, it goes in there. But then you'll have the handlebars sticking out the side here. I'll break that, I know for a fact I will. So we'll do that last. Yeah, I'm remarkably confident in my own ability. 25 years, I know what I'm doing. In fact, I know me. That's how I know I'm quite confident I'll break it. So, just get this piece prepared. Yeah. I made a little bag of screws again. And we need a screw that is 1.6mm by 16mm long. I'll take a bit of a caliper out for that. Whether you're new or whether you're experienced, try and get one of these things in your arsenal, because every now and then you'll come across a kit like this where you need to start measuring things, and they're really handy for scratch building too. So you can get everything sorted out, and then you can measure internal spaces and cut plastic card for engine bays and things like that, and landing gear. It just basically gives you as well a heads up for, instead of routing through that bag and emptying everything out, slide everything along to 16. That was close. Yeah, there we go. Good, tiny bit. Tiny bit. No, that'll do. So we've got an idea now. We can just go straight to the bag. It's not that one. It's more than likely one of these things here. One of these black. And that's pretty much spot on. That one's over 16. So I can identify now that it's this one I need, rather than emptying the entire bag out. And then with a bit of faffery, there we go. So we get that thing out. I can seal this bag up again now. Crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. And then we can double check and be careful with these really fine tipped tweezers too, because they don't half hurt when you jab yourself in the end of the finger. They really are needle sharp. So if we just open that gate a little bit more, come on. There we go. 16mm, bang on. There we go, we'll go right back like that. Then we'll find it's actually a little bit narrower than 1.6. Or are we talking about the head? No, we're not talking about the head either. But that's the only one in there that's that kind of length, which would make sense. So keep that nice and safe. On a piece of Tamiya tape. It's got loads of uses, this tape, It really is. It's not just for masking. Right. So we'll come back and finish the rest of the. It's not landing gear at all, is it? Oh, I don't know. Again, make sure you got it the right way round. I just have a panic though. It's quite idiot proof as well. They've got you can make that out little D shapes to help you out. I know they're idiot proof because I'm the idiot. Alright. Who said yes you are? Come on, hands up. I already know it's going to be a couple of you. Yes. You know who you are. And so the idea is that'll drop in there like so. And then this goes with the L-shape to the front, like so, and then you drop in that massive great big screw and screw all that together. Lovely. So we won't actually screw that to the bike just yet, because like I say, we're building sub-assemblies and we need to paint things. So I'll just pop the screw into there for the time being. And technically, yes, I could leave that in the bag, but it just helps to have these things pre-built, so you know which of the big screws went where. So that's that done. I'll not pop that exhaust part on yet, but we'll build the main exhausts. So I'm not sure, that looks like some kind of turbo thing. Again, bikists amongst you are screaming at me right now. That's not the, I don't know what that is, but we're going to leave that off for now. We'll paint that separately and then attach it before we actually do all the main build. I'm just going to work on this main exhaust system. Okay, so two halves of the main exhaust will go together. Now, these are the little pegs I was telling you about earlier with the main chassis. You get that little peg goes into that little hole. It says. Oh, they do. There you go. And it just keeps everything nice and square when you're gluing, and it doesn't move around. That's what the chassis needed, especially in this area, just to hold it in place. However, it's done. We're sorted. So we'll just take the glue and again just dot it in. Let the capillary reaction do its work. Little squeeze. Just to hold that front end there. The back end. That's the back, that's where the gas comes out. Hello. Yeah, I know. And then just at this seam here. So again, little dot. And another squish. And again, try and avoid putting your fingers anywhere near that glue line. And then probably hear that a little bit in the middle. Yeah, I need to be really careful now because I've slipped and missed. You see that shine there, so I need to stay well away from that part. It's not a problem, it'll sort itself out. It'll just be where it's there. And that would be a good time. In fact, let's do it. Still a report fingerprint in. There we go. So you see all the strands knocking about. There's a nice big fingerprint right in the slap bang in the middle of that. So once that's dried, in fact, let's do another one. Yep, I know. Normally, that would cause all kinds of panic. Nice big fingerprint, right slap bang in the middle. Focus, 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 focus. Nice big fingerprint, slap bang in the middle. That's the worst thing about using one of these things, you can't focus properly. It picks up all the background instead. Rubbish. Righty doke. If we can focus, 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 focus. Never mind the background. There we go. Should be able to make out there a nice big fingerprint. Two ways of dealing with that. We can go straight back in with glue now that all that's dried, and I'll just show you on this ring here. I've actually done that deliberately even. I don't know if you can make out there the two halves of that attaching collar thing in the middle there, that strap, don't line up at all, and it's the same further along, just here. This bracket, it doesn't line up on both sides, so we're actually going to take those away and redo them. Oh, that was on my finger. And that's why I've done this. Just let me get something flat behind that. That's why I don't like using the grids, especially in close-up work, because it picks up the background more than... There you go. There you are. There we go. Just get lots of shine instead. There we go. So if we come just straight back over with the glue, just give it a little work whilst it's all wet, and eventually it all starts melting again. And you can actually use your brush to move everything around. It just smooths everything out. Don't flood the area. So you know that most of that's gone. There's still the odd rough spot here and there. For the most part, that dirty grabby fingerprint is gone now. Still a couple of ridges there, and then once all that's dry we can just go over it again. That's one fix. especially if you don't have, oops, knocking stuff over, these skinny spongy sticks in your arsenal. That's the quickest solution. Just flatten it all off here. Okie doke. And so, whilst that's drying, we can leave that off to one side and work on the radiator. Now there are actually two more parts to go onto this, which is here and here, to make up the rest of the manifold at the top. But we're going to leave those off so we can paint those individually. Like I say, we've got to do some staining on that, just to indicate some heat's passed through it. Oh, that's something I'm really looking forward to with this build, is replicating that stain that you get. It's not really a stain, it's you know, that funny tint that you get when heat's passed through a radiator, not a radiator, exhaust. Oh my words. My words indeed. Okay, so that's that. That's that. And with this kit as well, if you're building with the figure, you get a couple of options with the suspension. Just having a quick glance through. So you've got it under load with the rider on whilst he's turning the corner, or you've got your bog standard on its stand, no load on it whatsoever suspension. Looking forward to having a quick glance at that as well. Just pop you there. And come along this side. And it goes on there like so. Goes on there. I'm just figuring out now whether I need to paint this radiator separately or not, or whether I can cut them all in one colour. So it's not just a case of whacking bits of plastic together, there's actually a thought process of, do I need to do this, do I need to do that? Goes in first. Nope, they all get painted the same colour, so I can build all that as well. That's handy to know. Right, so let's clean these up really quick. And so, like I say, if you can, just grab a couple of extra kits from what you normally build, just to learn some new things and new techniques. And the more you can build, the more you learn, the more you can apply to different things. And I'm using a whole range of techniques in my current builds at the moment that I've learnt from doing planes and doing tanks, doing cars. It's quite enjoyable. There's more than one way to skin a fox. In a second I'm going to move on to my first piece of body kit. Ooh, looking forward to this part. So at this stage when you start putting body kit together you actually get a feel for what the bike will look like eventually. It's all well and good having photos, and not photos, box art, like so, but you know, it only gives you one view. Doesn't really give you a flavour of what you're actually building, whereas the next stage does. I had to do a giddy hands in here somewhere. Just before I do that, I'll show you the tailpipe again. That's been 10 minutes now since I stopped me dirty great big fingerprint in it. The gluing to sort that fingerprint out. Now that looks rough as hell, but once you get some primer onto that you'll barely notice it. So that's fine. But if you notice as well, there is quite an edge just there, so I've got no choice. Probably hear that. Got no choice. We do have to sort that out. I'll show you some filling techniques in that as soon as I get to it. Let's get this cowling sorted out first though, one thing at a time. Righty doke, so end of episode 2, we now have a subframe, a radiator and an exhaust done. So I can pop that off to the side. Hopefully in the next episode we shall get, oh, you don't really need to worry about these parts to be honest, because they're all in one. Hold on, let's get that out of the way. Nope, not you. That one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. You don't need to worry about those, they take care of themselves, they're all one piece. But we shall be teaching you how to deal with that massive great big nasty seam that was slap bang in the middle of that tyre, on both tyres, and how to build the wheel. And then we'll be building the front mudguard and getting rid of that nasty seam line that we end up with in the middle. And then we'll have to pause for a moment while somebody does some vacuuming in the background. Where was I before the vacuum interrupted? Yeah, so yeah, we've done the wheels, done the front mudguard, we've got the rear cowling, and then we've got the petrol tank, and front cowling, and under cowling, and swing arm, and whatever that thing is, looks like a cylon. Rear brake disc, and then the fun parts, the suspension, which are absolutely glorious. So we'll go through all that, we'll try that again, we'll go through all that in episode 3. In the meantime, I'm going to have a quick build. I'm going to put everything together to see what it looks like, and you're not going to get to see that until the beginning of episode 3. Ha 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 ha, that means you've got to come back now. Thanks for stopping by. Give eModels a quick look. If they haven't got it, you don't need it. And thanks for watching. Join me in part 3, and you'll see a built bike. Because I've got to build it. I've got to build it before I paint it. I've got to see what it looks like. I'm like that. I'll see you in episode 3. Take care.